The great Samuel L. Jackson has starred in a lot of films, playing truly larger-than-life characters, but arguably his coolest role, none other than John Shaft, now Harlem's toughest private eye, back on the case in a new film, this time trying to show his son how things are done.
Number one, any woman that dresses up to come out on a Tuesday night is my kind of woman. How you think I met your mom?
Oh, okay, that's enough with the rules. You know what? I'm out of here.
Excuse me, gentlemen. These are courtesy of those two ladies.
Oh, rule number 2, never turn down free drinks from beautiful ladies.
Samuel L. Jackson, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. So JJ, he's the son that we meet in this new film. Is he a chip off the old block, or does he need some toughening up?
He needs to understand what the Shaft name means in the particular world that we inhabit. He's been taken away from me because his life was a bit in danger when they were with me. So she moved out to the suburbs. He's a private school kid, went to MIT, who now works for the FBI. And he comes to me for help. And in doing that, I have to kind of show him how his father and my father operate in that particular world.
We get 3 generations in this one. Richard Roundtree makes an appearance.
Yeah, Richard shows
You're
up.
there. We got the. What was it like? What was it like having all 3 of you guys there together?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Jesse's a young actor that I watched. I used to watch his TV show. He had this TV show called Survivor's Remorse, where he was sort of a LeBron James-like character who, young basketball player, all of a sudden became rich, was wondering if he should give more back to his community and what his place was in the world at that point. Interesting thing. And he was Will Smith's son in Independence Day.
That's right. I know John Singleton directed the first one.
Well, he directed mine.
Right.
Gordon Parks directed the first one.
Right.
Richard will quickly correct you
That's
about
true.
that.
But he directed your first one.
Yes.
And of course, we lost him just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
How did that affect you personally, the loss of John Singleton?
John and I were really good friends. We talked. We were about to actually do a film together this fall. So we were, in pre-production and getting ready to start that whole process. So it was
film
surprising.
still going to happen?
Yeah, the film's still going to happen. Now we got to find a director. It's kind of hard to find somebody that's got John's sensibility. But, we'll do what we can and work that out. But, yeah, I happened to be out of the country when he passed. But I was fortunate enough to be back to speak at his memorial service in L.A. the other week. So it was great.
You are probably aware of this, but you are the most bankable star in Hollywood. Did you know this?
Is that different between that whole box office thing we talk about all the time?
No, they're the same. They're the same. We crunched the numbers this morning, though. We've got new numbers for you. $6.6 billion. That is
money I made for other people.
That's well, I don't think you're struggling, but yes, that would be the amount of money that you.
That's how much they made.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But you made a lot of movies as well.
I'm not a billionaire, though.
Well, you're probably closer than me. Yeah, probably closer.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Than most.
I'll accept that.
I read that you, on average, over the past 30 years, 5 films a year. That's the average.
I hope so. Yeah.
How do you decide what to do and what not to do?
Sometimes it's just time. Film will come across the desk, I'll read it, and I go, yeah, I'd love to do it, but it conflicts with some other film that I've already agreed to do. Or some people have preference in your lives. Like when I had my 9-picture deal before I fulfilled it, Marvel always had first place no matter what I was doing. They could call and say, stop doing that movie and come here. And I almost had to do that.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. And sometimes it's just time commitment. Sometimes they only want a week. If I can find that week, I can run in there for a week. Like, I'm doing a couple of movies this summer that I'm only doing a weekend.
A couple movies?
Yeah. I'm doing a week in one movie, and I'm doing a week in another movie. And then I'm trying to figure out what my fall is going to be.
And you just turned 70 in December.
Yeah.
Are you going to slow up at all, you think?
Slow up what?
So, a lot of folks say,
I can't retire, man. You see what's going on in the world? I can't retire. This thing is, I can't, it's hard for people to get jobs at my age. If people are willing to hire me, I'm going to take that job.
What's
be a greeter at Walmart or something.
I could see you doing that.
I could too.
The coolest greeter in the history of Walmart. 25 years since Pulp Fiction. Hard to believe.
Is that all?
Hard to believe. I was at a charity golf tournament with you a couple years ago, and people run up to you in these scream lines from movies.
I'm the T-shirt guy.
What's the most common line from a Samuel L. Jackson film that people come up and scream at you on the street?
That one. You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese and friends.
That's the most popular one.
That's the most popular one with a certain age group.
Yeah.
Older black people say, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. That's theirs. There is a group of, especially now the Shaft's coming back out there, it's my duty to please that booty people. Which I thought was the corniest line I had ever heard in my life when John said, this is going to be so cool. I was like.
And he was right.
Really?
He was right.
You want me? Really?
He was right. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Samuel L. Jackson, always a pleasure. Mr. Jackson's back on the 4th hour along with co-stars Richard Roundtree and Jesse Usher. Both going to be whole cast. By the way, Shaft, theaters this Friday.